Hey y'all, we're going to read a little bit more of Tao of Willie together. So I feel like I should put on a little background music. How y'all feeling? I feel like I want to play this song for you real quick. Just like the beginning. Just the first chorus as we warm up here together.
It's hard not to listen to the haters. It's hard not to listen to the light. It's hard to stand up for what we believe in, but we have to fight. It's hard to rebel on projections. It's hard not to take on others' pain. It's hard to stand up for the good inside, but the fight is vain. And it's hard to even take the teasing when the problems seem aren't funny. It's hard not to be people pleasing, to be judged for not having money. But it's easy to breathe. It's easy to breathe. It's easy to breathe. And I need to breathe.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, exactly. Alright. The Tao of Willie. I think this might be the second chapter. Picking up the tempo. Music is a vibration. That's what Confucius says. This amethyst has a vibration. The computer screen has a vibration. Music definitely has a vibration. There were two kinds of culture in Abbott when I was a boy. One was agriculture, and the other was yogurt. Luckily, Sister Bobby and I were born into a world of music. We had a house full of music books, and Mama Nelson taught Bobby to play the piano and to read music. After I got my first guitar at age 6, a Stella that came from the Sears and Roebuck catalog, I'd sit at the end of the bench and play along with her. Our daddy, Ira, was a fine guitar player and an even finer auto mechanic. Our mother, Myrtle, was a singer and dancer, and as free a spirit as ever came out of Texas. Because Ira and Myrtle each needed different things, they divorced when I was just 6 months old. But both continued to be a positive influence on our lives. There was music in our Methodist church, of course, and more music coming from the Baptist Catholic churches and Catholic churches, and the Church of Christ, which had no instruments. The voices of the choir was all they needed to make beautiful music. When we picked cotton, we were accompanied throughout the day by farm workers whose music lived deep in their hearts. When I turned on the radio, I heard stations from Chicago to the Mexican border playing everything from Ernest Tubb and Bob Willis to Bing Crosby, Tommy Dorsey, and when I was 10 years old, a new young singer named Frank Sinatra. I didn't care for music lessons, but Bobby covered my ASS by learning musical by learning music theory backwards and forwards while I went adventuring, and she's been covering my butt ever since with her playing and her knowledge of music. When we were 5 or 6 years old, our grandparents put Sister and me on stage and said, "Our kids do things. Now start doing." We've been doing ever since. And I did a bunch of doing today at my gig with all of you-ings. When we were, okay, I said that. I was in the 6th grade when I got my first paying music gig, strumming guitar in the John Raychek band in Bohemian dance halls. Mama Nelson was dead set against me working in sinful nightclubs until she found out I could make $8 or $10 a night. My mom also wouldn't let me work in nightclubs, and I don't think she cared how much money I would make. You had to pick a lot of cotton to make $8. Music has been my life and will continue to be as long as I am able to hit a lick on the guitar and find the voice that lives inside of me, just as strong today as when Dad Nelson put that first $3 guitar in my hand and showed me how to make a C chord. It's not the easiest chord to make on a guitar. Sister Bobby and I both have perfect pitch, which means our grandparents taught us to reproduce the memory of how many vibrations per second were passing through the tunnels between our ears. Music is a vibration, and words are airwaves. Music and words, in unison, are a harmony. A life in the way of the Tao means living in harmony with the world and those who inhabit it. Sharing that harmony has taught me so much, and it all started with the musical home I was born into back in Abbott. Should I read another one? The next chapter is called The Golden Rule. Heaven is eternal, earth everlasting. Oh, my back. Stretch. Now for a word from our sponsor. Cannabis car, tank tops, and t-shirts. Write to me to get yours. I don't have a lot of sizes. Show up at Golden Drops Cafe on Saturday. Designed by Michael Myers. All right. And this is specially made. They don't really have holes in them like this. All right. Okay. Oh, they're in. I can't show them. They're too far away. All right. Okay. The Golden Rule. Some people like to make a big deal about their particular religion. If your religion is an important part of your life, then I am happy for you, without any regard for which religion it is. As far as different religions are concerned, to me they're just different paths leading to the same place. 1,000 paths to a single destination. The Golden Rule is the main thing I live by, and every religion I've read about or studied, both East and West, has the Golden Rule as a common thread running through it. Every person is free to believe whatever the heck they want to believe. But if every person, every business, and every government simply followed the Golden Rule in all their decisions, everything else would just fall into place. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Unfortunately, we don't always like things to be so simple. We like to talk about infinite shades of gray, when the simple truth is right before us in black and white. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. In many Eastern traditions, the phrase translates with uncanny accuracy. The world, according to Confucius, says, the guidance for your goodness of heart can basically be summed up as do unto others what you wish for yourself. Sound familiar? With the Christian and Jewish faith, it all goes back to Abraham in the Old Testament. It was Abraham who said, "Don't screw with me, Jack. and I won't screw with you. Okay, he may have not said those words exactly, but that was the gist of it. We used to see the Texas version of that in the old Red Ryder Western movies when Wild Bill Elliott would say, "I'm a peaceful guy, and I don't want any trouble." Then they'd mess with him, and he'd wind up killing about 30 of them. He tried to tell him, but they just wouldn't listen. You can get a pretty good idea of the type of kid I was by my Booger Red nickname. There was a definite pecking order in Abbott, and if you were on the bottom of it, you had to fight for your place against every kid all the way up the ladder. The only way to avoid that fate was to pick the toughest kid and challenge him to a knockdown, drag-out, pissing, moaning, and ass-kicking match that involved everything from bare fists to rolling around in the rocks, dirt, and stickers, till one of you turned tail and ran. It wasn't a pretty sight, but if you gave a good as you got, in the long run, you didn't get quite so much. You gave as good as you got. All right. Stretchy. Times have changed, of course. And as individuals, we've managed to put most of that kind of behavior behind us. As nations, however, we still have a long way to go. As nations, we are particularly fond of the idea of many shades of gray. As nations, we prepare as much for war. As nations, we prepare much more for war than we do for peace. And in doing so, we make war inevitable. Achieving peace through strength doesn't necessarily mean that you need bigger tanks or missiles, for peace can be achieved through personal strength. I absolutely agree. No matter the rationalization, any destructive act leads to other destructive acts. One kid punches and the other kid punches back, and the only way it ends is for the kids to grow up and realize that you can actually get in the last lick by taking it, not giving it. Wow. Wise words by Willie. Just because we were taught the golden rule as kids doesn't mean it doesn't apply to us as adults or as nations. As much as I admire the nonviolent messages of Gandhi, in the practical world, the golden rule ultimately provides reason in situations where nonviolence leaves some tough alternatives. After all, I am only a man, and doubt that my belief in nonviolence would restrain my human reaction if you mess with my family. It reminds me of my song, Let Be. Can I really relax tonight? Can I say that everything's alright? Can I say that I'm not afraid? Can I trust that peace is the only way? As my heart opens up, I see everything burn. As I don't criticize, I see everyone learn. So let be. Let love, let learn, let be. Let birth, let die, let be. Anyway, let's continue with Willie. The practical advantage of the golden rule over a philosophy of total nonviolence is that by admitting the likelihood of response in the case of an attack by an individual or a nation, you are not left in a defenseless position. The greatest power is one you do not have to use. Said like a true martial artist, black belt you are, Mr. Willie Nelson. The beauty of the golden rule is that it applies to so many situations, even in a peaceful world. If we ever get there, he says. If you enjoyed this reading, please comment below. Please let me know. If you want me to read more of the Tao of Willie. Once again, this sponsorship. This episode of Live Reading was sponsored by Cannabis Car Apparel. Write to me if you want yours. I think I only have smalls left. I love you guys and gals and horses and dogs and kitty cats and all the rest. And I'll see you tomorrow for Sunday Night Live. Y'all behave and get some beauty sleep. All right. We're creating this beautiful world together. Look at that man.